actually becoming like a stage addict. I really am. Like when there are off days and there is no show, I'm up at night dancing just to. It's really strange. Guess I'm an addict. Can't help it.
Are you pleased now with the way you
I'm never
look?
pleased with anything. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a workaholic.
Yes, I am a workaholic. I don't relax, really. I don't sleep a lot. I like to continually, my mind never stops. I'm always creating. I never stop. But I love a good water balloon fight or, playing around, goofing off, Nintendo games, arcades.
Mm-hmm.
The need to be the greatest never really ends. No matter how legendary somebody becomes, there's always pressure to prove they still run the game. Nobody carried that weight harder than Michael Jackson. Off the Wall had to outshine Motown. Thriller had to crush Off the Wall. Then every album after that became another battle to beat his own record. Every tour had to look bigger, louder, and more unreal than the last one. Fans didn't force that pressure on him. Michael pushed himself that hard. That mindset helped turn him into one of the biggest entertainers ever seen, but it also made him vulnerable. By 2008, Michael hadn't toured in more than 10 years. He was 50, dealing with nonstop public controversy, and reportedly facing over $400 million in debt.
When I had a meeting at the house with AEG officials, and they pointed to Michael, the guy who could not pay me for months after taking care of him, that he was penniless. I was shocked. As it was that time when Michael came to me trembling and trying to get me away from the AEG official, who was Randy Phillips. I was shocked out of state. I should have just picked my bags up and leave.
He wanted one last comeback moment, one last shot, to remind the world he still had it. And people around him understood that his need to perform wasn't just passion anymore. It was becoming desperation. In the music business, desperation can turn into somebody else's payday real fast. Even as a teenager, Michael was obsessed with being the best. He practiced nonstop, stayed hungry, and kept pushing Motown for solo tracks. Nothing was getting in his way. His passion for music pushed him through brutal rehearsals and exhausting performances. While recovering from surgery, he still spent hours perfecting his Motown 25 routine. During a Pepsi commercial, his hair caught fire, and he still kept performing. Then, in 1995, rehearsals for an HBO special reportedly pushed him so hard that he collapsed from exhaustion. For Michael, greatness wasn't just a goal. It was part of who he was, and that same drive made him vulnerable to what happened next. In 2008, entertainment giant AEG Live came to Michael with a huge proposal. The company was known for running major arenas and promoting some of the biggest tours in the world. While many people doubted Michael at that point, AEG saw comeback potential written all over him. The offer was enormous: 50 shows at London's O2 Arena under the name This Is It. Michael and AEG could make hundreds of millions from the deal. With ticket sales, merch, sponsorships, and media rights added in, some estimates reportedly climbed past $1 billion. Michael was already dealing with serious debt, and AEG had advanced him tens of millions before the shows even started. This wasn't a situation where Michael could simply back out if things got rough. The money had already been spent, contracts were locked in, and AEG needed the tour to happen badly. A cancellation could have turned into a financial nightmare, but Michael needed it too, not only for the money, but to remind the world who he really was. This was supposed to be his comeback story, his big return. Everybody involved had something riding on it. But almost immediately, cracks started showing. On March 5, 2009, Michael was scheduled to appear at London's O2 Arena and officially announce the tour. Thousands of fans packed the place, reporters crowded everywhere, and cameras were ready to beam the moment across the world. But behind the scenes, things looked messy. AEG Live CEO Randy Phillips reportedly sent an email saying, "MJ is locked in his room, drunk and despondent."
There are a couple of days where you say, "Mike, are you all right? Are you taking anything? Or you seem..." Well, no. Why? What would make you think that? Don't ask me that. He said that. I have kids. I'm not doing that. So what are you going to say? He's a grown man.
Publicly, promoters blamed heavy London traffic when Michael showed up 90 minutes late. None of the backstage chaos was mentioned to the crowd. They rushed him onto the stage, and Michael stepped out telling the world, "This is it." To the public, it looked like the king of pop had returned. But behind closed doors, AEG already knew Michael was struggling, and the tour still moved forward anyway. Just 2 months later, Randy Phillips went on CNN claiming Michael Jackson was as healthy as he can be and had no health issues at all. But inside the team, concern was growing fast. People involved with the tour were reportedly worried about Michael's condition behind the scenes. At one point, Randy even sent an email to co-CEO Paul Gongaware saying, "We need to pull the plug now."
And can you describe what you personally observed on that day, June 19th, 2009?
That my friend wasn't right, that he wasn't well. There was something going on that was deeply troubling me.
And of course, by my friend, you mean Michael?
Yes.
Michael Jackson?
Yes.
After a lot of discussion, the team decided Michael needed a doctor close by. But not just any doctor. They wanted somebody Michael trusted. That's where Dr. Conrad Murray came in. Murray was a cardiologist who first met Michael in Las Vegas back in 2006. He had treated Michael on and off for years, but by 2009, his own life was reportedly falling apart. He was dealing with debt, foreclosure problems, child support payments, and a struggling medical practice. Then came the massive offer. AEG Live prepared a deal worth $150,000 a month for him to become Michael Jackson's personal physician. $150,000 a month sounded like a dream for somebody buried in debt and struggling to pay bills. But there was a major catch. Michael never officially signed the contract. Dr. Conrad Murray technically wasn't being paid yet, but he was already treating Michael while expecting that huge payday later.
Based on the assumptions that AEG is your company and MJ is Michael Jackson, do you have an understanding of what that means?
No, I don't understand it because we weren't paying his salary.
So why would you write that?
I have no idea.
That created a dangerous situation. The doctor responsible for keeping Michael healthy had a massive financial reason to make sure the tour stayed alive no matter what happened. If the shows got canceled, Murray reportedly wouldn't get paid. According to reports and later testimony, executives at AEG were aware of this pressure and leaned on Murray whenever concerns about Michael's health started coming up. The whole situation became tightly connected. Now you had three sides depending on this tour to survive. Michael wanted to prove he was still the greatest entertainer alive. AEG needed the concerts to recover their investment. And Dr. Murray needed Michael to keep going so the money would come through.
Did you ever talk to Dr. Murray about Michael Jackson's health?
Not so much about his health, no.
What in particular did you talk to him about?
Well, I talked to him about being willing to get him whatever he needed to do what he had to do.
For a while, it looked like the plan might actually work. In the This Is It footage, Michael seemed focused and energized. He danced, directed the band, and obsessed over every tiny detail just like he always had. What the This Is It documentary didn't really show was what happened between rehearsals. Michael was reportedly losing weight, missing practice sessions, and struggling behind the scenes. One show engineer even sent an email saying, "MJ is not in shape enough yet to sing this stuff and dance at the same time." And remember, that message was reportedly sent just 1 month before opening night. People working on the production were starting to notice serious warning signs, but nobody wanted to be the person who shut everything down. As the first concert got closer, the pressure inside rehearsals became intense. Dancers drilled every move non-stop. The band repeated sections of songs again and again, trying to make everything flawless. And Michael wasn't only expected to sound perfect, he had to look perfect too. That responsibility fell to Karen Fay, Michael's longtime hair and makeup artist who had worked with him for more than 20 years. Michael was like family to Karen Fay, and when she joined the tour preparations, she quickly felt something was wrong. In one email to Michael's manager, Frank DiLeo, she reportedly wrote, "I have seen with my own eyes him deteriorate physically in a month." Karen also stayed connected with fans who sometimes met Michael backstage or at special events. As the first show got closer, worried messages reportedly started flooding in. One fan wrote, "Michael is too thin. When we hugged, I felt there was literally nothing to him. Another message sounded even more alarming. A fan reportedly said, "Last week I was in LA with a friend to see Michael. She said when he took his jacket off, she saw a skeleton." The email continued, "If we do nothing, he will die." Karen became deeply worried. She worked closely with Michael every day and could reportedly see his physical decline happening in real time. Near the end of one email to management, she warned, "You do not want him collapsing in front of thousands of people. His bones are protruding." She also added, "I'm leaving this in your hands as you have instructed me to do so." But according to multiple accounts, Michael was extremely determined and difficult to stop. By that point, very few people around him believed they could convince him to walk away from what he saw as one of the biggest moments of his career. The only people with the power to truly stop everything were the executives at AEG Live, Randy Phillips, Paul Gongaware, and their boss Tim Laiweka. Laiweka had a long history in the sports and entertainment world. Before joining AEG, he had worked as president of the Denver Nuggets during the 1990s, and in 2005, his name reportedly surfaced in a Department of Justice case connected to an alleged bid rigging scheme. By 2009, he was one of the top figures at AEG. Then came June 19, 2009, just 3 weeks before opening night. Production manager John Hudall, who watched Michael rehearse daily, reportedly sent Randy Phillips a serious warning email. MJ was sent home without stepping foot on stage. He was a basket case, and Kenny was worried he would embarrass himself on stage, or worse yet, be hurt. The Kenny mentioned was Kenny Ortega, the show's director and choreographer. Ortega had worked with Michael on past tours and knew exactly how he normally performed. He could reportedly tell something was very wrong. The next day, Ortega sent another alarming email to Randy Phillips, saying Michael appeared weak and exhausted. He reportedly described him as trembling, rambling, and obsessing during rehearsals. Ortega reportedly recommended that Michael get a psychological evaluation. Randy Phillips responded, but his reaction didn't seem urgent. What makes this even more shocking is that months earlier, Randy himself had reportedly said, "We need to pull the plug now." At that point, though, the tour had gone too far and too much money was tied into it. Kenny Ortega still wasn't satisfied with the response, so he pushed harder. In another email, he reportedly wrote, "I honestly don't think he's ready for this based on his continued physical weakening and deepening emotional state." He even compared the situation to the period before Michael collapsed and the HBO concerts were canceled years earlier. This became one of the biggest warning moments in the entire story. People around Michael were seeing signs everywhere. Fans noticed it. Crew members noticed it, and the person working closest with Michael creatively was openly warning that putting him on stage could be dangerous. But instead of shutting things down, bringing in outside medical experts, or contacting Michael's family, Randy reportedly sent another email saying, "It is critical that neither you, me, or anyone around this show become amateur psychiatrists or physicians." Randy Phillips continued defending Dr. Conrad Murray in his emails. He reportedly wrote, "The doctor said Michael is not only physically equipped to perform, and that discouraging him will hasten his decline instead of stopping it." Randy also added, "This doctor is extremely successful, we check everyone out, and does not need this gig, so he is totally unbiased and ethical."
AEG Live never would have agreed to finance this tour if it knew Mr. Jackson was playing Russian roulette every night in his bedroom.
In the end, it seems the jury was persuaded by that argument, ruling once again that AEG did hire Conrad Murray, but that Conrad Murray was not unfit for the job. And in other words, AEG was not culpable for his death.
The way that last part was written almost sounds unbelievable looking back at it now. What made the situation even darker was another message Randy reportedly sent to his boss, Tim Laiweka. Referring to Kenny Ortega, Randy wrote, "This guy is really starting to concern me." Instead of focusing on Michael's condition, attention was reportedly shifting toward the people raising alarms. Soon after, a meeting was arranged at Michael's house involving Randy Phillips, Tim Laiweka, Kenny Ortega, Michael Jackson, and Dr. Conrad Murray. But before getting into what happened there, another email becomes important. A few days earlier, Kenny had reportedly told Paul Gongaware that Dr. Murray would not clear Michael for rehearsal. Paul's response reportedly revealed a lot about the mindset surrounding the tour and the pressure building behind closed doors. Paul Gongaware reportedly replied, "We want to remind Murray that it's AEG, not MJ, who's paying his salary. We want to remind him what is expected of him." That message gave a harsh look into the pressure surrounding everyone involved. At the meeting inside Michael's house, tensions reportedly exploded. According to a police detective summary, when Kenny Ortega confronted Michael about his condition and raised concerns, Dr. Conrad Murray shut him down by saying, "You're not a doctor. Butt out." The one person loudly warning that something was wrong was reportedly pushed aside by the person responsible for Michael's medical care. The same person whose financial future depended on the tour continuing. Behind the scenes, Murray had reportedly been giving Michael nightly infusions of propofol, a powerful surgical anesthetic, to help him sleep. Then on the morning of June 25, 2009, after other medications reportedly failed to help Michael rest, Murray gave him 25 milligrams of propofol. Michael finally fell asleep, but this time he never woke up.
King of Pop died suddenly at the age of 50 at about 2:30 this afternoon. He was on the verge of a 50-date comeback tour, but today he collapsed with a massive cardiac arrest, rushed to the hospital in a coma. Doctors could not save him.
That happened just 5 days after the meeting, where concerns had reportedly been dismissed and pressure to keep the shows moving continued. Later, Conrad Murray was arrested and charged with involuntary manslaughter. During the trial, prosecutors argued that Murray acted recklessly and was criminally negligent by using a surgical anesthetic to treat insomnia.
I had my cell phone.
You didn't call 911.
I did not call 911.
You called his assistant.
Yes.
To call security.
Yes.
This is a vital time.
The jury agreed with prosecutors, and Conrad Murray was convicted.
The court has determined that the appropriate term is the high term of 4 years imprisonment.
But for many people, the story didn't end with him. The bigger question became about the people who allowed the situation to keep going in the first place. In 2010, Katherine Jackson filed a wrongful death lawsuit against AEG Live on behalf of herself and Michael's 3 children. The lawsuit claimed AEG focused more on profits from the This Is It tour than Michael's health and safety. The family reportedly sought $1.5 billion in damages. The trial stretched on for 5 months. Dozens of witnesses testified, and hundreds of pages of internal emails and company documents were examined. AEG's lawyers argued that Michael was an adult responsible for his own decisions and pointed to his history of relying heavily on doctors. They claimed the company could not have predicted what would happen. But critics focused on something else: the money surrounding the tour at every stage. One of the most disturbing moments reportedly came from an email Randy Phillips sent shortly after Michael's death. In it, he wrote, "Michael's death is a terrible tragedy, but life must go on. AEG will make a fortune from merch sales, ticket retention, the touring exhibition, and the film and DVD." And they did. AEG was allowed to keep selling Michael Jackson tour merchandise, and they also shared profits from the This Is It documentary, a movie built from rehearsal footage of a man many people around him reportedly knew was struggling badly behind the scenes. Michael was gone, Dr. Murray served time, and the corporation walked away without criminal charges. But there's still something they could never take from him: his legacy. AEG could profit from the business side, but they could never own what Michael meant to people around the world. More than the records, the awards, or even being the greatest performer alive, Michael cared deeply about his fans and the feeling his music gave them. The emails don't define Michael. The lawsuits don't define him. The fans do. Every time Thriller starts playing at a party, every time somebody tries the moonwalk for the first time, or every time an artist pushes themselves to be better because of him, that legacy keeps living on. Almost every entertainer today was inspired by Michael in some way, even knowing nobody could truly replace him. And Michael was never quiet about powerful companies he believed were trying to control or exploit artists. While these emails only became public later, one company Michael openly battled during the final years of his life was Sony. and he was determined to fight back against them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who still respects Michael's legacy. And drop a comment below saying King of Pop forever if Michael's music still hits different today.